In the heart of the ancient city of Antioch, there lived a young man named Eliakim. Raised in a community rich in tradition and faith, Eliakim yearned for spiritual maturity, though he felt trapped by uncertainty and doubt. Though he regularly attended gatherings and listened intently to the teachings of wise elders, his heart remained restless. One evening, Eliakim sought counsel from Matthaeus, an elder revered for his wisdom and insight. "I wish to walk in the fullness of the Lord's path, but my spirit feels chained by shadows," Eliakim confessed. Matthaeus looked deeply into Eliakim's eyes, his own reflecting years of experience. "The journey to spiritual maturity is not a path of ease but of endurance," he replied. "However, through shadows we must walk, but with steadfast hope, for even through the darkest night, the sunrise awaits." With the elder's words echoing in his heart, Eliakim embarked on a journey physically and spiritually to seek answers. He traveled to Jerusalem, a city drenched in sanctity and history. The days were filled with listening to the teachings at the temple, engaging in prayer, and poring over sacred texts. During his stay, Eliakim encountered a group of pilgrims who themselves were in search of deeper faith. They spoke of the trials and tribulations that accompanied their journey, times of cold isolation, fear of the unknown, and the weariness that settled over them like a heavy cloak. Moved by their stories, Eliakim joined the pilgrims. Together, their paths merged into one of shared spiritual pursuit, each step taken in the hope for clarity and light. The physical weariness they felt was mirrored in their desire for spiritual enlightenment. One winter eve, as the pilgrims gathered around a fire to keep warm from the biting cold, a certain traveler named Matthaeus stood and shared his tale. He spoke of a moment when he was lost in heartbreak, feeling abandoned by God during a time of personal disaster. "I had lost everything," Matthaeus recounted, "but in my despair I finally understood. It was not about having answers to all questions or freedom from pain. It was about trusting that God's grace would sustain me, even when shadows threatened to blind my path." These words softened the hearts of the weary pilgrims, reminding them that maturity and faith was not the absence of darkness, but the perseverance through it. Through days and nights of shared prayer, laughter, and tears, Eliakim began to understand that his spiritual maturity lay not merely in knowledge, but in the surrender and devotion of his spirit. As the dawn broke on a new day, he realized that the path to maturity was lit not only by the sunrise, but by the strength grown in the shadows. Thus inspired, Eliakim returned to Antioch, where he dedicated himself to living a life of active faith, keeping the fire of hope burning brightly in every shadow he encountered. The story concludes with this teaching: spiritual maturity comes through enduring trials with faith and hope, knowing that God's grace is sufficient for you,